right, hi everybody. So we're live right now, episode 16 of Just the Gi Top podcast. So today we have Michael Liera Jr. on the podcast. So Michael's a brown belt training out of Atos. So just before we get started, as always, there's myself, Adam Cousins, our regular panel members, Ahmed Chirani,
Good evening.
Jordan Short,
Hey.
and Rami Chirani.
Hey.
So Rami, just want to do a shout out to our sponsors quickly.
Yeah, sure. So our first the first sponsor or person who helped us out was Very Hard to Submit. They make gis and they've actually given us two of theirs so far. So we got the first version and then their new Azure gi. They're both really awesome. If you want to check them out, they're at www.veryhardtosubmit.com. Also, if you notice, you'll notice that actually Adam Cousins is wearing the first model of the gi. And all of us are right now wearing, or the other three are wearing these new shirts, the Pohada shirts that they gave us. The ones that we have are the BJJ Skull guys. They're all pretty cool. They come in different colors, and they actually have different shirts available on their page. One kind of representing San Francisco and the vibe that's over here. And if you want to check them out, you can check them out at pohadagear.com, which is PORRADAGEAR.com. If I messed that up, I'm sorry, but I'll post the link on the live link anyways.
Yeah.
But so quick thanks to them too.
All right. So, Michael, maybe just quickly introduce yourself. You're obviously really well known in the scene, but just maybe for anybody who's not really familiar, just who you are, where you train, and kind of your jiu-jitsu story.
Yeah, first of all, thank you guys for having me on. I'm Michael Liera Jr. I'm a brown belt under Atos Jiu-Jitsu. I've been training since I was 12. I live here in San Diego, California. I train with Professor Andre Galvao and Keenan Cornelius and JT Torres also. And then, that's about it. I'm 19, or excuse me, I just turned 20 2 weeks ago, and I'm just living my dreams right now.
Could you maybe you're training out of Atos right now, but could you maybe highlight some of your accomplishments that you've had to date, including purple belt, blue belt, brown belt?
Yeah, of course. At blue belt, I won the Europeans, the Worlds, the Pan Ams, also all the local tournaments, and then also I won the trials to go to Abu Dhabi, for the World Pro. And out there I took second, and then at purple belt I won the Pan Ams, Worlds, No-Ghe Worlds. I won 3 trials to go to Abu Dhabi World Pro. And then at brown belt I've competed in 4 or 5 tournaments, and I haven't lost yet, so I'm hoping to keep that alive. And some of the tournaments that include that I fought at brown belt are the American Nationals, weight and absolute, the American Nationals No-Ghe, the World Pro Trials, weight and absolute, and a super fight in Canada, and I also traveled out to Japan and fought in the Copa Bull Terrier, and I won my weight and absolute out there as well.
So clearly you're pretty good.
Yeah, I feel like really bad about myself, man. That's pretty good, man. I haven't won in a long time.
And you just got your brown not that long ago. It was just shortly before your super fight in Canada at 5 Grappling, correct?
Yeah, I got my brown belt 2 weeks after winning the Worlds at purple belt, 2 or 3 weeks maybe. And I fought at the 5 Grappling super fight maybe the week after or so.
What was that experience like?
Oh man, it was incredible. I didn't really know what to expect for the super fight, but when it was all, it was pretty much like celebrity status. They flew me out, put me in my own hotel room with a jacuzzi and everything.
Nice.
And I fought, made a little bit of money, made a good amount of money, and flew back, and it was crazy. I could never imagine doing something like that,
Did you know much about your opponents? Now, we've had the opponent you were supposed to face is Arthur Zuka, who was a purple belt. He's still a purple belt, actually. But then I guess you got, right, like you said, after Worlds, you got your brown. Then you were put up against Dynast who you face. So did you know, like, did you have much time to prepare for these guys? Like, like, so maybe, like, I guess my question is, were you watching tape on Arthur and then they switched the opponent on you? Did you have to readjust your game at all, or?
Honestly, going into the fight with Arthur, he was a lightweight and he's quick and fast. That's all I pretty much seen on him from YouTube. I didn't really check him up too much. And then when I got my brown belt, they changed the opponent to Dionys. I think that's how you pronounce his name. And I couldn't really find any video on him. The only thing I knew about him was he fought my teammate Jordan Schultz. So I asked Jordan about him, and Jordan just told me to kill him. And I was like, he wouldn't really give me, like, oh, he's a judo guy or he plays guard or anything like that. He just said, no, just go in there and kill him. So that was pretty much all I needed. He ended up being really tough, though.
So what's your what's your mindset before an act like a big tournament where it's not just one person? Do you have a specific approach, or how do you approach a tournament?
For like Worlds or Pan Ams, when there's 7 or 8 fights, you can't get like mentally psyched and excited and pumped to your first fight because you're gonna be fighting for 3-4 hours. So going into those tournaments, I just try to take it really slow. The first fight, I just warm up my body. Try to look for a sweep into a good position. That way I can kind of relax a little bit. And then as my fights go on, I'll start to, get more and more pumped for the finals and the semifinals. But for like the super fight, I just took a bunch of pre-workout before and then got super pumped. Was listening to music.
What is this pre-workout that everyone's talking about? Like, Ron,
you gotta get on that.
Yeah, what is this? Like, I gotta get on it. What is it? It's like a supplement.
It's a mix. Well, there's like a whole bunch of different pre-workouts, and basically it's like caffeine mixed with like creatine mixed with pure crack. Yeah. It just makes you go crazy,
It's got like vasodilators in it, so it like opens all your blood vessels and your skin gets all itchy. It's just you feel like you're pretty much gonna have a heart attack. But
I'm on the internet right now. Like, where can I go to get this? Like,
you can go to like any supplement store you can get it from. Anywhere.
Actually, you can go to a supplement store and just ask for samples, and they'll give you like a bag full of free workouts.
Okay, so it's called pre-workout mix.
It's like a pre-workout supplement. Are you seriously Googling this right now?
I'm seriously doing it, yeah. Like, Liera telling me he does it. I'm going to freaking do it.
The one that we all use at Atos is called Pump Fuel.
Pump Fuel.
And like the flavor for that is Psycho Strawberry. So you can just imagine what Psycho Strawberry Pump Fuel does to you.
Strawberry. Okay, I got it. Seriously, thanks for that.
Amazing.
I'm definitely going to do that.
So
I might die, but I'm
talking about pre-workout because everybody mentions it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you find I find that after I take it a few days in a row, I kind of lose the effects. Do you find that, or?
Yeah, like for the Worlds camp and just training, in the past, like I'll take it slow, like 2 days a week only, and then it always gets to the point where I get addicted to it and I'm taking it every day. And then, like, eventually you just start losing it and you don't feel the effects, So I've pretty much limited myself to, like, not taking it before Wednesday. Because, like, Monday and Tuesday I'm still fresh. So, like, why am I going to take it, I don't need to boost my training when I'm already fresh. So I just take it, like, once or twice a week, if that. And then only when I'm, like, super duper down and tired. Because otherwise it just makes me like crash after. So just like once a week, twice a week.
What other supplements out there do you take other than well, I don't know if you would call pre-workout a supplement, but
I call that a drug.
Yeah, how you describe it. But what else do you take? Do you just get all your vitamins, minerals, all that from foods, or what do you do?
Just like the basic stuff like protein, sometimes some creatine, when it's not time to cut weight or anything. And then like recovery stuff like fish oil, glucosamine, stuff for the joints, BCAAs pretty much all throughout the day.
Okay. Cool.
are you sponsored with those items? Like I know we'll at the end usually we let you shout out to your sponsors, but like that stuff can get expensive, right? Like are you?
Yeah,
Do you help
right
out
now.
with
I'm not sponsored by a nutrition store or anything. I'm trying to work something with NutriShop. That might be somewhere in the future. And other than that, one of my sponsors, Jiu-Jitsu Factory, helps me out a lot with some supplements. And whenever he can, he buys me, like a case of protein. And because, like he said, it's so expensive.
Oh yeah.
Especially when you're taking it 2-3 times a day, it disappears quickly.
Absolutely.
So
what's your kind of training schedule like at Atos right now?
Basically, my dad drops me off at the gym at 9, and then picks me up at 9, so 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. And then we train in the morning, work out in the morning. We rest, and then we drill somewhere in the evening, and then drill in the afternoon, and then train at 6 o'clock in the night class. And then so it's like 2 or 3 times a day we train jiu-jitsu, and then we work out 3 times a week.
Okay. So like, what do your drill sessions usually consist of? I ask this to almost every guest that comes on, but I'm really curious.
It depends. Like sometimes drilling can be like just position, like a pass over and over and over and over for 3 or 4 minutes or longer, and then you switch top to bottom. And then the other guy goes the same pass or a different pass. Or sometimes we'll do like speed drills where you just try to get like spinning to the back really fast, which is a really basic movement, but spinning to the back, you have to be quick, and we try to do that as fast as we can. It all depends on what's going on,
what exactly do you do to kind of like choose what you're going to drill that day? Or how do you have it planned out for a week in advance, or is it that day you're just like, I have this one move I want to work on? Or
usually it's like I'll train in the morning, and I'll get my guard smashed. I'm like, man, I really need to drill my guard today. Or my guard passing doesn't feel good. I'm like, yeah, I really need to drill guard passing. So just whatever I feel on that day.
Is that schedule the drilling? Oh, sorry, I talked over you.
Go ahead.
But I will go ahead. Yeah. That scheduling of drilling and whatnot, is that with all the big guys too, like Keenan and all them? Are they there right with you as well, or is that whoever's in the academy at the time, or
whoever's in the academy at the time? Some people, like Keenan, doesn't enjoy drilling. He doesn't really like doing it. He likes sparring more, so he usually takes that time to rest. And then there's some people that, like me, I like to drill, and a lot of the lower belts at the gym like to drill, so we're usually in there at like 4 or 5, right before the kids' class.
Oh, okay. Does Galvao jump in there with you too, or?
Yeah, when he's not, super busy, he jumps in with us as well.
Is he there a lot, or is he because he seems to be all over the place? So.
It depends. Like sometimes he just gets swamped with like meetings and stuff like that, just business in general. And then there's times where it seems like he's not doing anything and he's just at the gym all day long. So depends.
So what's it like training under Andre? Like, what would you describe his teaching style as?
Let's see. He definitely. I've been training with him
for. Swear at you? Like,
no.
Does he swear at you like Kurt does, or?
No, not even. No, he puts us through a lot of hard work, and he I don't know, it's different every day. Like his personality changes. Sometimes, he's really like positive with us, and sometimes he's really hard on us, and it's good. Like it changes. He always keeps it fresh, Like some days he makes us drill a lot. Some days he makes us train a lot. Some days he understands that we need rest. So I don't know. Every day I walk into the gym, I don't know how to expect him to be. It's always good though. It's always a good Andre.
So it's like a sporadic kind of expectation.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Jordan.
Do you get a lot of personal attention from Andre Galvao?
He gives us a lot. He gives all of us a lot of personal attention, you know, especially the competitors. He tries to help us as much as he can. Recently, he's been really busy with this super fight, so he's been focusing on himself. But I've seen him give, you know, Keenan a lot of attention, me, and then I also seen him give like white belts a lot of attention, you know, especially when he's not busy. As long as he has time, he's trying to help everyone at the gym.
Yeah, it seems like he would be a pretty busy guy. I mean, he's a pretty active competitor himself, so having so many full-time guys at the club as well would be hard to spread yourself out that much.
Yeah.
So oh, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I don't understand how he does it. You know, like I don't have too many things to worry about. You know, but even I get exhausted, like just teaching one little kid's class a day, you know, and he's just constantly giving himself, and he gives a lot, you know, to his students.
Oh, so you teach this kids class over there?
Yeah, I teach one of the night classes a week, and then 4 days a week kids class.
Okay. So then, like, I don't know if this is quite a weird question or word, but is that kind of like how you like your work, or what's the main source of income for someone who's doing this full time?
Well, no, I don't get paid for the kids class or anything, but I just do it to help professor.
Okay.
I make money by doing privates, teaching private lessons, and
In
I live here.
seminars.
Yeah, and
seminars,
seminars as well.
Yeah.
And I live here with my parents and just try to train all day and focus.
So like, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say like so it seems like we're diving into some of the personal questions, and so I have a couple as well. I just want to ask, can you explain the whole school thing? Like from what I've read, you left high school a little early. Are you doing home studies, or how did you even approach your parents about that? Mine would have killed me.
My dad, just to give you some background, my dad's, you know, Mexican and my mom's Filipino. And when I started training jiu-jitsu, it was with my dad, and instantly we fell in love with it, you know. It maybe took us like a month, and we were already hooked. And at first it was just like a hobby thing, and then after I, you know, really started enjoying it, and then really started getting into competing, and I started doing well, I started wanting to do this as like a profession. I wanted to train full-time and everything. And then I think it was in 2010, I was a sophomore in high school, and I heard from black belt Zach Maxwell that he switched from doing high school at a high school, from doing school at the school to being schooled online. And that's when I switched to that online school. And at first, you know, of course my dad was stoked. He was all about my jiu-jitsu and training, and he was thinking like, you know, I'm still going to get the education off of the online school and everything. And then of course my mom, her being, you know, Asian, she wasn't as much into it, I guess you could say. It took a little bit more convincing on her side, but I started going to this online school program, and I was finishing up with that, and with budget cuts, they cut the program. It was a very limited program that they cut, and I was, you know, like a year away from finishing or so, and like it pretty much it got pushed back. So right now I'm working on getting my GED, and that's where I'm at right now.
Very good. That's good. So you are pursuing the diploma as we speak then.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So when you decided to go, I guess, full time, was that with Salo Ribeiro?
Yeah, I was with Salo at the time.
Oh, okay. And then just kind of like leading in from that, what was the main reasoning for switching from Salos to training at Atos now? Or not even just that, but like what's the difference even? Like what do you find different about the two?
When I was training with Solo, like I had so many good opportunities, you know. When I was with Solo, I trained with guys like Solo, Shanji, Zach Maxwell, Hedges, Libre, Rafael Lovato Jr., and you know, like I always let's see, when I was there, I always had good training. There was no doubt about that. But when, you know, we started having some personal issues and problems with working there, and you know, we left on good terms, and you know, of course, Atos being the, you know, modern jiu-jitsu place to be right now, we switched over, me and my dad, and you know, I've always tried to stay, you know, in good terms with Saul. Of course, it's always, you know, a little iffy with the students and everything, but it was just something that I had to do for, you know, my career and everything that was happening.
Okay,
Go ahead.
I just like I remember on that one I think it was like a podcast kind of thing you did with Budo Jake. You were kind of talking about how it's not like it shouldn't be so frowned upon to want to switch to another academy so you can get yourself better.
Mm-hmm.
And in that case, but like leading from that, what is the difference between training at Salos and at Atos?
Mm-hmm. Well, like with Solo, you know, it was him, Solo, Shanji, and then me, and then a few other good guys from Solos. But I couldn't find too many people that were that had the same dreams as me within, you know, reach pretty much. And at Atos, I'm with a bunch of guys that you know where I'm coming from. They're aiming for the same goals, aiming for the same dreams that I have. And like I said, nothing against Saul and Shanji. They have an amazing school here in San Diego. Like I said, I still try to stay cool with them. It's just different, you know. It's a different mindset in the gym, I guess you would say. It's still proven though that Solo can pump out champs. You know, he's still pumping him, Shanji. They're still world champs, but like everyone kind of needs their own separate, you know, gym. There's a gym for everybody. I guess that's what I'm trying to get at.
Okay. Have you had to compete against anybody from Solo since you switched? And if so, you find it awkward?
I don't think so. No. I haven't had to fight anyone yet.
Have you thought about how you might approach that?
To be honest with you, I don't really think about that stuff too much, honestly.
So from like you were saying that people that nobody really had the same kind of dreams that you had and whatnot. But what are some of those dreams? I'm assuming they're all in jiu-jitsu, but what are some of those jiu-jitsu related dreams of yours?
Just becoming a, you know, 50-time world champ black belt, I guess. Weight in absolute. I guess that would be my dream. Trying to be
Hanato Laranja or something?
Yeah. Trying to get to 28, I guess.
So it's really just like the final end goal is you want to be a world champion black belt, I suppose.
Yeah.
And just from there you want. Okay. No, cool.
Mhm. ADCC, Worlds, Pan Ams, the World Pro, all those titles. I want them at black.
You were also mentioning too, just prior to the podcast, about wanting to start up your own academy, which is kind of a natural transition as well. And you mentioned San Francisco, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know yet for sure, but I'd like to open up in San Francisco eventually. Because I think Kurt's school is there, and Kaio's school is in San Jose, but I don't know about too many places in San Francisco other than those two.
Is that just more because of the kind of saturation that exists in San Diego right now, or?
It's a combination of things. The saturation of schools in San Diego, and I love San Francisco, and you know, I'll still be somewhat close to home, and that's about it.
You guys, sorry, Adam, go ahead. I'll let you go ahead there because I was going to ask there's a couple questions that popped up on our YouTube that I thought I'd get to that I have to do. Okay, yeah, sounds good. So Michael, just really quick, like I said, we're airing live, so some people write some comments and have some questions. So, well, one question actually from Arthur, who you were supposed to face. But he asked a really nice question. It's not like tell him I'll meet him. It's not like he's calling you out or anything. But he's asking like, can you ask him how he feels about rolling with people who stop by the gym? Are you afraid of being injured by spazzy people or someone who's trying to something to prove? So for example, some guy comes off, he's like, oh yeah, I totally got an advantage against Michael Liera Jr. Like they come at you really hard. Do you stay away from guys like that who try to I'm sure you have it. I'm sure you.
In the gym, I was talking to one of my good friends about this. In the gym, like sometimes I'll come hard at a person, and they'll kind of look at me like, oh, like why did you come at me hard like that? And they'll start thinking about it too much, and maybe like I passed really hard or whatever it was, and then she basically told me like that's pretty much how you roll with everyone. Like it doesn't matter if they're like a blue belt or a black belt or a visitor or your best friend. You train pretty hard with just about everybody. So there's like, so they shouldn't take it personally, even though they are, they don't know. But I train as hard as I can, pretty much with everyone. So even visitors too.
So you're not worried about people just getting a little reckless and maybe accidentally elbowing you in the nose or something, just something that might take you out of competition and training for a bit, like never enters your mind?
I mean, I try to keep it safe, but at the same time, I come hard.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
That's fair.
If they come spazzy, throwing elbows or, if sometimes it seems like you're rolling with a person that has more than 2 elbows, like they've just got all elbows and knees. Like, of course, I try to hold them in spider guard a little bit and contain the elbows. But other than that, I train pretty hard with everyone.
That being said, man, you say that you train pretty hard all the time. Have you had any experience with like injuries that have kept you on long layoffs or anything like that so far? You're a pretty young guy.
I'm pretty lucky. I've been pretty injury-free. Probably the worst thing was after American Nationals a few weekends ago. I got stuck in a bad toe hold and I wasn't feeling too good for like 2 or 3 days, but after that I was fine, and that was probably the worst. Like little stuff, maybe like a pop in your knee or something, but then like nothing bad.
Us older guys who don't recover quite as quickly anymore.
Yeah.
How old are you, Michael?
I just turned 20
2
weeks ago.
Okay, so you're still pretty young. You have nothing to worry about for a little while.
So Michael, you did jiu-jitsu for you said since you were 12, so you've been doing 8 years?
Yeah.
Okay. And your father started at the same time as you? Is he a brown as well?
We started the same day, and we're both
obviously he doesn't.
belts.
Oh, really? Okay. I was gonna say like obviously he doesn't put as many hours as you, but I was just wondering on the progression there. So that's pretty awesome. Does he compete as well?
He got his brown belt though like 2 years ago or something like that. Okay. And he's only competed 2 or 3 times, but man, he's really good. His jiu-jitsu is really good. He's been watching jiu-jitsu, and he's been I guess you would say addicted to jiu-jitsu for 8 years. So he's really good.
What are roles like between you guys? Like, is there some competition there? Like, he doesn't want you to beat him because he's your dad, kind of thing, or?
To be honest with you, we haven't sparred in I don't know how long. Maybe like a few months now, or maybe even a year. But I don't remember the last time we sparred. But
that's good though.
Like I said, I just go hard,
No, this man has respect for his dad. It's like when you used to arm wrestle your dad, and then there's like just randomly you just stop doing it.
It's like good. When you're nothing.
Hey, listen, I just want, like I said, I want to jump. Like we got a bunch of questions coming in, so I'm just trying to pick the best ones that that are coming in here. But besides 5 grappling, right? There's not much footage of you at brown belt. Is there do you have like a website or something that might have you like other matches of you out there as a brown belt or not really?
As a brown belt,
there's not much tape on you. Yeah, not much tape on you at brown, that is.
I'm staying pretty low key at brown belt, I guess, so far. There hasn't been very many YouTube posts or anything. A lot of people don't even know I won the World Pro Trials a few weekends ago. But yeah, there's not too much tape. There's actually there's the fight with my finals match from Japan is on some miscellaneous Japanese website. The Bull Terrier website or something like that, and that's about it. That one and my match against the Dionys, and that's about it.
Just talking about, when you were mentioning about competing at 5, you've had other super fights, but you kind of it sounds like they kind of went over and above for the competitors there. Was that like a unique sort of experience for you, or?
The only other kind of super fight type of match I did was at the jiu-jitsu battle. I had like that 8-man bracket, but and that was really cool too. We showed up like the day before and had weigh-ins and interviews and face-offs and pictures were taken and but other than that, that was the only super fight that I had, and yeah, it was cool. Like the guys treated me really well. They flew me out and everything. It was fun.
Speaking of Japan, there's another question we had. How was the competition there compared to what you're used to in California and the world stage? I guess like is easier. I mean, go ahead, say it. If they're easy, they're easy. But like, did you? No, I'm just saying. Like maybe maybe they don't train as hard, or I don't know. I've never been in Japan, so.
In my weight, in the finals, I fought against a Brazilian dude. So.
In Japan? Okay.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah. And in the absolute, I fought a bunch of smaller guys. Like I think my last fight in the absolute was against like a featherweight, and my first 2 fights were against like lightweights. So it was like, there wasn't anyone above middleweight in Japan, I guess. So that was.
So it's mostly that they're smaller. That's it.
Yeah. But
do you change your game at all to just like if you have to fight a larger guy? You said that some of your fights, most of your fights were like your size or a little bit bigger. But if you're doing absolute, do you change your game at all to just when you're competing against heavyweights and things like that?
Usually like my game plan and everything like that comes to me during the fight, within a minute or two, because you don't really know until you feel the guy. Like you don't know how well your grips are going to hold up. And you don't know how well, how strong the guy is really. So it all depends. In Japan, the guys were lightweights and below, but they're really technical. So like we were doing a lot of double guard pull, and I was trying to take the back a lot. But yeah, especially with the big guys, I can never really tell until I'm actually touching their gi and feeling their weight on top of me or feeling their grip and stuff like that.
Good point.
Okay, I think that's like I said, guys. I just hit up most of the YouTube questions. There's some other ones here that are kind of retarded, so I'm not going to ask those. But
ask them.
Just kidding. No, there's like some weird ones. But anyway, you know YouTube, right? You know how YouTube it gets pretty wild. But okay, brown belt. I know we have a bunch of guys who just recently got their black belts from brown. So, for example, Souza just got it, I think, over the weekend. The Meow Brothers, maybe a month or two ago, whatever. So those are some matches we were kind of looking forward to happening. Is there anyone in brown that you'd like to face? Because, I mean, you've only been in brown for a couple months now, right? So is there anyone out there that I'm not saying call them out, but whose style interests you? Who do you think would be a challenge for you right now?
I mean, it'd be nice to have a match with Gianni Grippo before he got his black. He's like, I think he's the only returning champion right now that has his brown belt still, that won Worlds. That would be I've heard a lot of people talking about that matchup, and I think that would be a good one. Who else? Of course, ever since I was a blue belt, everyone's wanted me to fight Marcio Andre. I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet. I'm sure that'll be a good match. Who else? Oh, the Johnny Souza from Alliance. He's the guy that knee barred me in 2012.
Okay.
He, I would like to have a matchup with him. He's in LA right now, so I'm sure that'll happen sometime in the near future. Maybe at No-Ghe Worlds, possibly. He'll be in the same division. But yeah, I'm just training. I'm not looking, I'm not looking to match one person up in particular.
Well, one thing here that we have like in the Toronto region is we're all about super fights. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so from what I understand, yeah, you guys are mostly about, well, okay, I hope Grippo signs up at this tournament and I'll be there, and then if we make it to Absolute, we might meet, we might not. Like, so another question someone brought up is, how would you feel about a super fight with Wolf Bernardo? Who's who? Yeah, I'm sure you know who he is. He was on our podcast not too long ago. But like, cool. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not gonna make it happen. I'm nobody. But I'm just saying, like, do you like these ideas of mixed belt super fights as well? Because again, here we often mix brown and purple belts together all the time. Like, do you object things like that? Like,
as long as it's a good matchup, Like I personally haven't seen any of Wolf's matches, or I haven't seen him fight. I honestly don't even really know what he looks like, so maybe I have seen him fight. But I know he's really good. I know he won Worlds, right? At purple belt.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm sure that would be a good match too if he won Worlds. Got to be good.
But why is it down there? Like, why don't they do super fights more often?
I don't know. There's jiu-jitsu battles trying to come up with some stuff. Like making 8-man brackets and stuff like that, which is cool. But other than that, there's not really any super fight, matchups here, and there's a lot of good guys, obviously. So.
Like Ahmed said, it's probably because you go to the tournament and everybody you'd want in a super fight is already there anyways. So.
Yeah, but some of the guys compete at the smaller events and stuff, and then a lot of guys just kind of stay low until the IBJJF events come around.
Are you purely an IBJJF guy? Like, do you stick to those mostly? Like.
No, I mean I'm looking to compete at the 5 more next year, 5 grappling tournaments. I think I'm going to be in a few of those. And jiu-jitsu battle, obviously, I want to keep fighting in those. And IBJJF, ADCC, stuff like that.
So with it being, No-Ghe season, No-Ghe Worlds coming up, do you train more No-Ghe, or do you still pretty much keep your training regimen the same?
If we have a No-Ghe tournament, we train just No-Ghe. But so for No-Ghe Worlds, I was planning on just training No-Ghe for a few weeks. But with this Grand Prix, Brown Belt Grand Prix at the Jiu-Jitsu Expo, that's the weekend after. That's Gi, so I started doing like half and half kind of.
Do you prefer competing gi or no gi? Do you feel like your game is stronger in one or the other?
I enjoy gi a lot more. No gi is just, I don't know, it's just something that you kind of have to deal with, I guess. For me, that's how I look at it. I want to win No-Ghe Worlds, but it's not what I love to do. I love training in the gi, competing in the gi. And I look at No-Ghe Worlds and No-Ghe tournaments is just like something I have to do jiu-jitsu, I guess.
Yeah. Hey, really quick, just about training in No-Ghe, and I think I already know the answer to this, but do you have any ambitions whatsoever for MMA? I mean, your professor dabbled in it, and he did pretty good, actually, and then he stopped, but he did well for the fights he did do. Is that something that you're very young, is this something you consider?
I did an interview with Budo Videos, and I pretty much went on the record and said, no, I'm never going to do MMA, and I'm sticking with that. I've seen what it takes to be, an MMA fighter, and all that you have to sacrifice to do that. And personally, I just don't love MMA. It's not what I love to do. So, no, not really.
About Andre, is he stopped altogether? Do you know, or is he?
He talks about it. He talks about it every once in a while. I don't know if he's ever gonna get back into it, but he loves fighting. He loves punching and everything that comes with MMA, and the fence and everything, or what. I don't know what people. I don't know what the kick is with MMA, but yeah, he loves to do it, but I'm just not into it.
Fair enough.
I love watching it.
I don't even like watching it. Personally, I've fallen out of love with it. I'd much rather watch a local jiu-jitsu match, honestly.
I've actually gone the same way. I don't know what happened. I loved MMA at one point, but then I'd rather just watch jiu-jitsu matches now.
Yeah.
Hours and hours of jiu-jitsu matches.
They're BJJ snobs, man.
No, man, it just doesn't interest me anymore. It's just lame now. It's like, I don't know, like I'm going on the record. I think I'm
I think there's a lot of saturation in it right now, right? It used to be like, even just a couple of years ago, you'd get a UFC event every 3-4 weeks. Now it's like sometimes you get 3 a month, right? So it's I think it waters down the cards a bit, but I know go ahead.
That, and everyone's just so good now, Like it's just always a stalemate in the better fights. Like everyone's a good boxer, so no one's getting knocked out, and everyone's a good wrestler, so they're not getting taken down, and everyone has good enough jiu-jitsu to where they're not getting their guard pass and stuff. So like a lot of the better fights, I mean, like with the Ben Henderson fight, that was cool because he got caught with an armbar, and that was exciting, but what's the likeliness of that happening to him again, or it's just, I don't know. It's tough.
You have to take Ahmed's opinion with a grain of salt also, though. He wants to get rid of all leg attacks, anything below the waist, right out of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Anything that involves standing.
Okay, Michael, look, you said you got knee barred not too long ago. Now, were you dominating the guy and then you just got caught, or what happened? I'm sorry, I never saw the match.
He went for a toe hold, and I didn't tap, so I still won the match. So,
okay.
Yeah, I still won.
Oh no, sorry, but no, you
I
said
still
there was
won.
another match. No, you said there was a match you got knee barred and you lost her and you'd like to rematch him.
Yeah, that was that purple belt. The guy was going for a foot lock and he rolled and it turned into a knee bar.
Right.
And there's knee bars aren't allowed at purple belt. So that should have been a DQ, but the ref didn't really see, and the angle that he had on us was kind of weird. So he didn't DQ the guy, and he just kind of gave it to him. So
so you hate knee bars?
No, it's just there's a rules thing, and the ref even apologized to me after, but it was at Worlds actually in 2012. And yeah.
Anyway, no, I don't hate them. Don't get me wrong, guys. I like knee bars; they look nice and blah blah blah. But I just think they're cheap sometimes. That's all. That's all. It's not a big deal. But that's cool. I'm not a brown belt. I'm not even close. So what do I know? I have to change my terms.
I was just gonna retire from competition. Brown.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna be a brown. Now I'm done.
All right. Does anybody have any kind of closing questions? We're kind of coming up on the hour mark here.
No, man. Like I said, I asked. We did some research, and jotted down the questions, and plus we had some from YouTube, ones that I could ask, other ones I won't. I know you're wondering what they are, but I won't say.
One time on YouTube, I got called a tough lesbian. Ever since that, I haven't been offended.
Yeah.
Like, come up with something better than that.
We could
I
maybe forward you.
I actually screenshotted it and sent it to all my friends. I was like, I'm the YouTube winner.
You're a tough lesbian. Yeah. I don't see what they mean by that, but okay. Yeah. Well, okay. I'll read you one. I'll read you one. No, let's do it.
Let's delve into the dark side.
It's anything better than a tough lesbian.
No, it's not that bad actually. Now I'm thinking about it. It's actually kind of a compliment. But what do you do to keep your teeth so white? They're bright on the screen. Like they're really bright.
It's
People want to know.
It's got to be the camera. It's got to be the camera because I don't have very white teeth. Actually, a lot of my teeth are fake because of a skateboarding accident.
Oh shit.
And yeah, like some of these front teeth are fake.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, now I kind of.
Now everybody knows a random fact about Michael Liera Jr.
There's always good stuff on the internet, you know, like the fact that I was a blue belt for like 6 years, which isn't true. Stuff like that. People always come up with cool stuff like that.
No, like
Cool.
no, you know what? I'm glad we asked you about the school thing because all we read was, he dropped out to do jiu-jitsu. That's it, and that's all you could find. And
Yeah.
I like that we clarified that. No, that's not true. He's actually going out there trying to, you know. So anyway, yeah, take what you see on the internet, you know, with a grain of salt, I guess. So.
Except for this, everything on this podcast is completely.
Yeah,
Like
we
nothing-
speak facts.
Nothing really bothers me what they say on the internet, you know. Like I always read through it just because it's, you know, something to pass time, and I always find it funny. But for some reason, the comment that irks me the most is that I was a blue belt for 6 years. You know, everyone goes on and says like, man, like I was a blue belt for like 4, 5, 6 years, and I was a blue belt for 2.5 years, which isn't very long.
Well, just the very fact that you just turned 20 should like indicate that there's something wrong with that story.
Yeah, I got
his
my
blue belt when he was 8.
I got my blue belt when I was 15, you know, and then my purple when I was 17. And like I said, usually the stories don't bother me, but that one I'll clear. I was a blue belt for 2.5 years.
All right, guys, you heard it here. You heard it here first. 2.5 years.
Yes.
All right, man. No, that's good. Thanks. Thank you. Okay.
All right. So, Michael, are there any? We're kind of just getting close here. Is there any sponsors you want to thank? Anything else you want to say? Anything else you want to talk about before we wrap up?
Well, of course, I'd like to thank you know, my sponsors, Shoyoroll. That's my gi sponsor. Ruka. They've been helping me out a lot, and one of the guys who's been with me from the start is jiu-jitsufactory.com. He's been supporting me ever since I was like 15, 16 at blue belt, and yeah, that's about it.
One question just for me. I just saw on my Facebook page we have somebody here local who's training at Atos. He has a picture with Galvao. What the hell? How come Galvao is jacked now? Like, what happened? Like, is he hitting the weights hard or something? Or like, do you guys lift over there?
We lift. He's got amazing genetics, and that guy's just an athlete, you know. Him, Rafael Mendez, JT Torres, they're all just crazy athletes. And yeah, I'm not at that crazy jack stage.
You'll get there, man. You're still young.
No.
Like lightweight right now, right?
What's that?
You're only lightweight?
Yeah.
So you probably venture into middle within a couple of years, I'm sure.
Maybe.
That's what happened.
Right now I'm pretty comfortable.
Very good. Guys, just our final question that came on YouTube, but just because I want to know the answer. I know we were going to wrap it up, but where did you learn all your Barombolo variations?
In 2012, when I was training for the Worlds, Rafael and Guilherme Mendes came to our academy because AOJ hadn't opened yet, and they were training with us. They were in our camp, and for some reason, Guilherme used me to drill every day. And Rafa as well. Rafa was drilling with us as well. But Guilherme showed me so much stuff from the Barombolo and passing, and that's where I learned a lot of my Barombolo variations.
Sweet. All right. So there you go, Erickson Brown. That's your question. So thank you. All right, guys. We're good.
All right. Yeah, so I think that pretty much is a wrap for episode 16 here. So
I believe we had some business to take care of before we wrap up.
The contest.
Our contest.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead, Rami. This is you.
Oh, it's me. Okay, I'm going with this. Okay. So I can't remember the name of the dude. So, so we had a contest for anybody watching right now. We had a contest to win a rash guard from Very Hard Smith, our sponsor. And so we had a bunch of people try to name our little logo or mascot dude, and we had a bunch of submissions. Like we had a lot, and I'm just trying to look for who the actual winner of the prize is. But the name of the mascot is now going to be.
Hold on. I'll tell you the name because I actually do my research. Not like you guys.
Oh, it's actually prepared for this.
Yeah, like I give you guys a chance, and you guys drop the ball. That's okay. Anyway, the guy's name who won is Juan Carlos Pabon Sanchez. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. And the name that we're going with is Ovinho. Ovinho? Ovinho.
I think it's Ovinho.
Ovinho. And what does that mean, Rami?
It means like little egg from my Google research.
So there you go, guys. Congrats again to Juan Carlos Pabon Sanchez.
And we'll message you shortly, and we'll figure out how to send the
Nice.
to you.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, can I wrap it up? Anybody else going to jump in now?
Yeah, no.
Okay, try this one more time.
No, we're good. Okay. Michael's like, oh, I'll just end this already.
All right, so thank you very much, obviously, Michael, for coming on. It was awesome to have you on. Thanks for sharing your time with us. So.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so that's a wrap for episode 16. So thanks for tuning in, and check us out next week.